Ah, beautiful sunny day. You know, for the past couple days, it's been somewhat decently cool, like in the 80s and comfortable. And today, we're right back at our hot self, right? Like it's in the 90s. This morning when I took Miss Bouncy out, I could feel the heat. I thought, yep, it's making up for the cooler days. Of course, there was a tropical storm Barry, so more than likely that had brought the cold front along and all that. But anyway, so before I tell you how much I came in this morning, I want to say a great big thank you to Taking Down Fat with C-Dub. He commented on my video last night that I made last night about me weighing myself every day and that I could be stressing myself out. And I explained to him I stress myself out more with overeating than with the scales every day. And see, if I didn't weigh myself every day, I would stress out even more, because I would be afraid that I overdone it for the day or something, you know. And so by me weighing myself every day, I'm keeping myself in check. I know whether or not I done good or not, because sometimes for me personally, and I can understand so easily why that some people ends up with a major anorexic eating disorder, especially like if they've been obese and they're trying so hard to lose the weight and they're up and down like a yo-yo. They lose a great amount of weight and then they gain it all back and then they're trying again. I can see why people ends up going into an anorexic state, because they're afraid that if they eat one bite more, that they're going to gain the weight back. That's how I feel. That is my mental disability on this. But I'm not wanting to go anorexic. So I'm making sure to eat, you know. But, like, I know that there is body dysmorphia, okay, where you have lost weight and you look good, but you see yourself as still fat. Well, I don't suffer from body dysmorphia. I see where I'm losing the weight. I can see the slenderness. I can see that I'm looking good. I was just noticing in the mirror this morning that my profile, my side view, I'm getting smaller and it looks great. So I don't suffer from body dysmorphia, but what I do suffer from is a fear of taking one bite too much or eating too many meals. Okay, and the even bigger problem than that is that sometimes I want to slip back into my old habit of just sitting there and munch and munch and munch and munch and munch. And I have to fight that because I don't want to gain the weight back. I definitely don't want to gain that weight back. So weighing myself every single day is keeping me assured that I'm not slipping. And in some videos I've even said this, that if you gain a few pounds back, it could be fluid retention or other circumstances, medication maybe, or maybe you ate too much 2 days in a row, you know, something like that. Something that it's not a real gain and it's something that you can get rid of quickly. But when you continue to climb and not drop, that's when you need to seriously double check what you're doing. And so when I see that I'm up on the scales, I put in consideration of different things. Did I eat too much yesterday? Is my ankle swelled? Have I got fluid retention? Well, what time of the month is this, you know? I put considerations in. And I had watched one video from Kayla Cox, 6 Miles to Supper. And she had said that she prefers to weigh in daily because losing weight, it's like she likes to take it in a scientific type way. And when you're a scientist, you take data of everything every day, she said. And so not only does she like keep in consideration of how much she's ate for her meal or whatever, but she weighs herself every day and she documents it. She documents it and puts information about what's going on at that time period when she weighs herself. She's putting in daily data, documentation of what's going on. And so, you know, I agree with that. For me personally, now some people, they're okay with weighing once a week. And as I explained to C-Dub in my reply back to his comment, whether you weigh in daily or you weigh in once a week, by the end of the week, that number is still going to be the same. But, you know, in really deep consideration, and I'm not against anybody who weighs daily or once a week or once bi-week or once a month. I'm not against anybody like that, you know, because you do how you're most comfortable. So, as I tried to explain to C-Dub, that number is going to be the same by the end of the week, whether you weigh yourself once a week or once daily, you know. But really thinking about it, seriously thinking about it, if you weigh yourself daily, there might be something that you can change because you know. And maybe at the end of the week, it actually would be different than if you weighed yourself weekly. But that's just a behind thought, you know. There's no foundation for that. So, as I told you yesterday in my video, my ankles once again was swelled, and I'd realized I had put in way too much sodium. So, with all that said and done, when I weighed in this morning, I came in at 175.1. So that was like 3 pounds and 2 ounces of fluid retention. Now, some of that fluid retention came in because of where I had just been on the cycle. And the other fluid retention is where I'd had too much sodium yesterday. So with that combination, you know, I really needed to relieve the swelling. So sure enough, 3 pounds and 2 ounces was fluid retention. And see, now that makes me feel better. If I would be weighing once a week, I would be worrying of whether or not I had ate too much or if it was fluid retention or what. And I wouldn't know what to do, you know. But because of me weighing myself daily, I knew that I needed to do something about the fluids. Not to mention, of course, my ankles were swelled. But sometimes, even when I know that I've ate right, and my ankles aren't necessarily swelled, but yet the scales are up. And that tells me that there's some fluid retention as well. So it's not always about eating, and your body doesn't always show signs of swelling. Not always. But there can be fluid retentions in other ways. Even fluid retention inside of your muscles, and your skin isn't showing the inflammation. So, but anyway, I had told you that I was considering about going back to the weigh down. And really my heart is torn between doing the way down and doing Omad, because I know Omad works. I like doing Omad. And quite frankly, when I do Omad, I don't feel guilty for eating again. Whereas with the way down, I'm afraid of whether or not I've ate too much. And that's where I need to continue trusting my Lord. I do know that with the way down, you only eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're satisfied. And so that's the one thing that I try to keep in mind. But in a way, I'm a very sentimental person, and my sentimentality really causes me to have a wayward mind. Because when I'm trying to decide to do one thing and I'm thinking about something else, and the nostalgia just kicks in, and then I find myself struggling of whether or not to do that. It's similar to like when you're trying to clean house and you're doing a deep cleaning so that you're getting rid of stuff, and you see some things that you just know you don't use anymore, but there's that nostalgia, that sentimentality over that, and you go, well, I've got to pitch it. And then you start to pitch it and you go, but maybe not, and then you hold on to it again. And that's the same thing with how it's going with me right now over Omad and the way down. I know that the way down works. Like I said, I'd lost around 30 pounds with Omad, with the way down, and I know that Omad works because I have lost an additional up to 17 pounds because I did see 173. So either way it goes, they both work. And so here's where the sentimentality kicks in, because I've been doing Omad and I've been working so hard at it, and I love how it feels when I've ate just one meal. I love how it feels mentally. I love how it feels physically. And so I'm like considering to do the way down where I do get to eat whenever I'm hungry, and then like I'm going, but I really like how it feels to do the Omad, you know. And I had said that I felt like there was a burden lifted. Well, perhaps the biggest burden that I felt that lifted was me telling Jens that I had been somewhat doing the way down along with Omad. But almost kind of an answer. For one, C-Dub told me in his comment that he would love to see me continue and do Omad. So that's an encouragement right there. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate it. And the other thing is, and this is the weirdest thing of all. And I'm trusting that God is leading me in this, because I need Him to guide me. If I was to try to guide myself, I'd guide myself right into a ditch. But I'm trusting Him to guide me. I hadn't seen any recommendations for Stephen Raphael, the Omad Diet Man, since he had gone into the hospital and quit producing videos. And especially after he died last month. There hadn't been any recommendations. And I'm looking through my YouTube homepage to see what video I want to watch. And there's a recommendation. To beat all, his video was about you will get hungry sometimes. It was one of his older ones where he wasn't quite sure if he was going to continue doing videos or not, and he had already lost 30 pounds. He wasn't even doing his piano performances yet. He was just sitting on his couch. And his video was about you will get hungry sometimes. So I watched it. And I'm sitting there crying. I mean, you know, I didn't really get to know him. He had abruptly stopped doing videos because he went to the hospital about 2 months after I had started watching him. Maybe even only a month after I started watching him. But it still hurts me because I feel bad for his family. And the fact that he was a great inspiration. For the little bit of time that I had got to watch his videos, he was a great inspiration. But anyway, I'm reading through the comments, and you know, the newest ones was 4 months, but there was one that was posted 3 weeks ago. And Stephen's not going to be able to answer the question, because the question was, can I have high carbs with Omad? I'm a diabetic. He's not going to be able to answer that. This person doesn't know he's gone. That made me cry even worse, because it wasn't my place to reply and say, I'm sorry he passed away. This is his older video. But anyway, that was encouraging to me to see that, because that was like God using that specifically to tell me that sometimes I'm going to get hungry. And I think God was telling me not to be afraid to get hungry. And He used that particular video anyway, guys, like I said, I didn't get the pleasure to get to know him that well, but I tell you what, it hits a person right in the heart when there's somebody valuable and you lose them, even if you don't know them personally. So anyway, guys, yeah, I lost the fluid retention. I prefer weighing myself daily, so I keep myself in check, and I may continue doing Omad. I've still got to make up my mind about that. And as I'd said a couple days ago in my video, there will be some days that I'll only eat one meal and I'll be just as happy with that. So I'm going to try my best to do Omad every day. I'm going to try really hard to. But if I fail and I eat again, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm not going to. And as I said, if the calories are too low in the one meal that I had, I'll eat again. And if I've exercised excessively and the calories is too low, I'll eat again. Because I need to do this right. I need to make sure that I am properly refueled. And at the same time, give my body that chance to use up the fat that is meant for fueling. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry that this video is so long. There was quite a bit on my heart to share. I love yins. I love yins. You'll be seeing me tomorrow with another video. You guys have a great day.